Yo, this is Mr. Shift Your Perspective. What's up? Good morning. I hope y'all having a good one. There's a group of people out in the world. There's a percentage of people out in the world, out in this dating world specifically, that think that they are ready for a relationship, that feel they're ready, that even go out in pursuit of a relationship, but are single, mainly for this particular reason that I'm about to mention. And it's that they're really not ready. I mean, simply said, they're really not ready. And the thing is that for themselves, they require and want so much to be in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? They want these particular things like, there are certain things. I don't even want to try to get really specific, but I will give some examples. But some of us have some things that must also be in the relationship if they're in a committed relationship. But the things that they want in a relationship or feel that are necessary for them to have in a relationship are things that are only really in the single lifestyle. Like this probably broad level of freedom. Some of us just have to have that freedom, have to have so much freedom to come and go, do as they please, do as I please, whatever, right? That it isn't really realistic inside of a union, inside of a real relationship, inside of something where you have obligations and duties and so on to a person. People, to have this certain level of freedom, true enough freedom, there has to be some freedom. You have to be able to come and go. There has to have some trust. But some of us want way too much freedom. Some of us want to still maintain and hold on to certain affinities, certain relationships with particularly or specifically the opposite sex. We have these friends or these best friends or these associates that we like to kick it with, we like to hang with or whatever, right? But these relationships aren't really appropriate in their nature or in their characteristics, some would say. They're not really appropriate for a union. They don't fit into this union you're trying to establish with someone. And I'm saying that even if this union is brand new, you have to understand when you start something, you have to start it the way you want it to be. So therefore, certain things you just have to not bring into the union or not bring into the structure. They say first impression, lasting impression. So it's certain you have to start it out right, because if you started out wrong, a lot of the times the way you started out will become one of the issues somewhere later down the line in this potential union that you're trying to establish or in pursuit of. Certain relationships, certain level of freedom. What else have I observed? I guess sometimes it's certain interests, certain a lack of flexibility. Some of it gets so engulfed into our family life, where we be with grandkids, kids, brothers, sisters, work. Some of us in a single lifestyle are so engulfed in that because we make that the thing that somewhat fulfills or supplements, in areas where we lack, like in the intimate lifestyle, because we don't have these certain obligations to an intimate interest or this particular kind of significant companion. We don't have the obligations, the duties, the requirements or whatever. We don't have these kind of things that are in those kind of relationships that's pulling on us. We don't have those things that we need to put some energy into. So therefore, we put all our energy into these other things, like again, work and our kids and our grandkids and our family, sisters and brothers. I mean, I know of a relationship where this one female, she was with a friend of mine, and his issue was that since they had been together, she still was spending just so much time with her sisters and brothers and mothers and them, which again is not a brother. It's not that a person would want you to stop like totally messing with your people, but again, you have to alter some things a little bit. You have to stop spending so much time to the point to where it doesn't balance out. And that's really the key thing. All these things really have to balance out and make sense. But that's just the way I look at it. That's my perspective. And I'm thinking, like, how can you go forward into something when you know you're holding on to certain things that only are really appropriate in your single lifestyle? And some people feel like, well, they've been my friend, so I'm not going to let that person go. You're not supposed to let the person go, but there are some things that you have to alter the way you and this person interact, because of you trying to and you trying to build something. You're like trying to build your own business. When you go into the union, it's like starting a whole new business. And so you have to put a required amount of energy and time and interest into this new establishment. Otherwise, it's not going to be nothing compared to these other things that you are putting all this energy into. So balance is key. Balance is necessary. But yeah, I guess decided just to put this out because it's like one of those things. You have to look at it for yourself and say, am I one of these individuals who refuse to let some things go, or refuse to balance some things out? Although I keep saying I want a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And you have to work on that within yourself. And for people who are in pursuit of relationships and run into these kind of people, you have to also be able to recognize that. And again, stay committed and stay loyal to what makes you happy. Don't compromise what makes you happy just to be with somebody, just because they look so good, or they make you feel a certain way, or you look good with that person, or they've opened your world up to all these new different things that you hadn't done. And so therefore you compromise real core values of yourself, or that you possess, that are very significant in regards to making you feel fulfilled as well as happy. Nothing should be worth you bartering off your happiness for, your peace of mind for it, because once you do that, I guarantee you somewhere down the line you will regret it, and what you bartered it off for won't even be or the end won't even become or be as valuable as you once thought it was. You thought it was worth that, and you'll find that it wasn't. And again, we have no one to blame but ourselves, because can no one do nothing to you other than what you allow them to do. And if you ever get to a point to say, well, what else could I have done? I had no choice. You always have a choice. You always have a choice. The game of chess, the game of life, it lets you know you always have a choice. You don't have a choice until you really don't have a choice, and you don't have a choice until you're dead. That's just it. You don't have a choice until you're dead. So peace and blessings. I hope that I was able to get that off in some way where it was understandable. I know sometimes I can talk a little bit, so forgive me. Peace and blessings again. Your Hassan, the Children's Enlightening Minds Enterprise.